Stop letting social media tell you what type of life you are supposed to be living. Hola, hola, hola a todos. It's tu prima favorita, Bobby here, and I just like to talk. Thank you for joining me today in the Cousins Corner. If you're new to mi canal, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back, mis amigos and mis primos. Just going off of the last video that I posted, if you haven't checked that video out, please go check that video out. I talk about how do you define success for yourself outside of all the things that you might have been told or made to believe, etc., etc. And this topic today just got me thinking in lines with that, as well as a lot of the things that we are seeing on social media is what is also influencing the way that we think our lives should be going. So I'm here to say, stop letting social media tell you how you should be living your life. Now, there's several points to feed into that. I know that not all of us are social media driven like that, right? I know that there are some people that can separate things, right? You can separate that, hey, I'm on here just to socialize with my friends or see how they're doing. Maybe I'm on my explore page here and there looking up stuff that the algorithm has curated based off of things that I find interesting or things that I've been liking, right? Not everyone struggles with that separation, but I do realize that a lot of people do, and even when they don't realize that they do, right? And so there are a lot of us that can fall victim, even me sometimes, fall victim to, I should be doing this with my life, I should be doing more of that or more of that. And it's just like, sometimes you just have to remind yourself that my life is mine and their life is theirs. I'm not gonna sit up here and make this whole video about, oh, the things you see on social media are not real. We know that, but also just being mindful of the fact that some of those things are real, and some people's realities seem to just be great. Some people's realities are great, but that doesn't mean that your reality is any less valuable than theirs just because they might be further along than you, or because you're comparing your life to theirs just because it's different or it looks different, or they've got achievements that maybe you want to achieve in the future, maybe you don't want to achieve in the future. The basis of it all is that you, one, define success for yourself, and two, live the life that makes you happy. I can't tell you how many times along my path, along my journey, that I've had to check myself because I found myself comparing. There's a quote that says that comparison is the thief of joy. And it is very, very true. Once you start looking at other people versus what they have and what you have, or what they have and what you don't have, that is when your joy starts to dwindle. Think about it. If you just won the trophy for the best car on the lot, right? But then somebody pulls up with the higher class car of what you have, you could have just won this trophy, this whole competition. But because you're comparing your car to theirs, you're comparing the fact that they got the newer version of what you have. You already won the trophy. Drive off the lot and go be happy and go celebrate. But when you get to the point where you start comparing, then it's just like you just stole your own joy. That person didn't do anything but pull up and exist, and you stole your own joy. And just going back to me personally, there's a lot of times where I had to check myself for comparing myself. I know it's hard to believe, even me. Yo también, yo también. I'm joking, but I'm serious about the fact that I've had to check myself too. There were times where I found myself comparing myself either to friends or other people, whether we are in the same, field or in the same career or just have the same interests. And you know what I've come to find out along the lines of, for me personally, when I was comparing myself to things that people were doing or accolades that they had that I didn't even want. It was crazy because I was just like, all right, Bobby, okay, you are sitting here, you're comparing yourself, you're being envious or whatever the case may be because this person has this accolade or this opportunity or whatever. If you really want it, you know you can go get it, right? You know you can get up and go put in the work and the effort and all of the things that they did to get there to go get it. So if you really want it, go get it. And 9 times out of 10, it was stuff that I really didn't care about. It was stuff that I wasn't willing to put in the hard work and effort for because it wasn't a passion of mine. I saw the accolades and the opportunities that they were getting off of these things, but at the root of it, it's like, I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do. That's not what I'm passionate about. So why am I comparing myself? And I was able to bring myself back down through that. And then even in those rare situations where I was comparing myself to people who maybe, you know, other dancers that I felt like were further along than me, or maybe in my full-time career, other people that I felt were further along than me. And I had to take it back and realize like where I am, where I've been, where I am, and where I'm going are all a part of my journey. And there is no right or wrong way. There is no timeline to that according to other people. There's only the timeline that I placed on myself for how to do this and where I need to be and where I want to be. And when I started to realize, yeah, that person might be a more skilled dancer than me. Yeah, that person might be getting all these other opportunities or whatever the case may be. But I'm also doing the gosh darn thing. And I had to really hone myself in and check myself on that too and be like, Bobby, you have all these accolades as well. Look at what you've done. Look at where you've come from. Look at where you're going. You're too busy comparing yourself to somebody else's story. That doesn't even matter in your life. That doesn't even matter with what your goals are or where you're going. You can use them as inspiration, yes. You can work with them or train with them to get better, yes. But for you to sit there and compare your journey to that other person, that is asinine. That makes no sense at all, because you and this person are on two different walks of life, two different paths, and maybe y'all have the same interest or share some of the same goals. Y'all are still two completely different people, and you also have a lot to show for it. And so for me, when I find myself in those times, because again, I'm human and it still happens sometimes, I have to check myself and I have to be like, all right, you doing a little bit too much comparison, you doing a little bit too much scrolling. It's time for you to get up and go be about your own business, right? I say that to say, stop taking in what other people are doing, what they're showing and what they're sharing, and beating down on yourself because you feel less than, because you're comparing yourself. Because when you do that, that is when you start to push away or forget or push to the background all the things that you've done and that you've brought to the spaces that you contribute to as well. And I think that a bigger thing than just getting off of social media when you realize that you're doing that is also taking moments to really recognize your own accolades, right? You don't have to walk around and throw it in people's faces, or you don't have to make a post about every single thing that you do unless you want to, because you're welcome to. It's your page, it's your social media, you can do that. But if that's not you, or if that's not how you operate, at least allow yourself to take a moment and be like, hey, I did that. I did this really cool thing. You can share that with your friends, or you can share it with yourself, but take time to really highlight the things that you have been doing, the achievements that you have accomplished, the fact that you are where you are today versus where you were a year ago or where you were even a week ago. Because I promise you, when you start putting value on the things that you've done, on the achievements that you are working towards, when you start putting value and focus and energy on those more than what you're seeing, what your neighbor posted, what your classmate posted, what your colleague posted, what your enemy, frenemy, best friend, whoever posted, when you hone that energy back into yourself and you can really sit and look at, dang, I've accomplished so much. Dang, I'm in the process of achieving so much. Dang, it feels good to be exactly where I am, exactly who I am, exactly how I am, because I know where I came from and I know where I'm going. You bring all that energy back to you, and when you really sit there and look at it, you have no reason to compare. It doesn't matter, because your life is your life and you're gonna live it the way that you want to live it. You're gonna get those achievements that you want. You're gonna get those accolades that you want. You're gonna get the recognition that you deserve when you stay within that and you focus on yourself. Now, like I said, you can use other people for encouragement. You can ask them for tips. You can study other people too. The greats study the greats. That's how you get there. That's how you get great. You study people that are better than you, but you don't compare yourself to the point where you rob yourself of the joy and the energy and the drive and ambition so that you can achieve greater. Because when you sit there and you beat down on yourself, the less likely you are to get to that point to where you want to go. Versus the way I think about things, if she can do it, I can do it. If he did it, I can do it. If they did it, I can definitely accomplish that. I understand that it's a natural, I don't want to say normal thing, but it is something that we kind of do naturally. We tend to get into spaces where we compare ourselves to other people. But when you find yourself doing that, whether it's because you're on social media and you're just scrolling, because like I said, a lot of that stuff, it may be real and it may not be, but again, it's all, like they say, it's highlight reels of people's lives, right? It's the best of the best that people put out there. And for some people, that's their reality. When I post stuff on social media, that is my reality. I'm not faking the funk. I'm just sharing my experiences with people, but I don't ever want my experiences and for me sharing them to be the reason that people be down on themselves. But also, I can't control that, right? That is on that person. If you view my post or you view my things and you take it and you start comparing yourself to it and you beat yourself down, that is where you need to go inwards, and you need to recognize why you're doing that and why you are comparing yourself to that other person. And then if it's like, okay, I need to not follow this person, I need to not be on this platform as much, I need to not pay so much attention as to what other people are doing or what other people have going on. Turn that energy around and focus it inward. Focus it on your passion. Focus it on where you want, your accolades, your achievements, either the ones that you've already gotten or the ones that you're working towards. Refocus that energy and stop letting the way other people's lives are, or what you presume to be, or what you're seeing, what they're posting, tell you how you should be doing your life, how you should be going about your life, or where you should be, or how far along you should be. Their walk is not your walk. Their story is not your story. And too many times we sit and we beat down on ourselves because we're looking at that of other people. And it's like, that ain't got nada to do with you. That ain't got nothing to do with you, what they got going over there. Like it and keep going, or don't like it, or unfollow, or whatever it is that you need to do, but hone your energy back to yourself. I know there's a lot of stuff out there, some real, some fake, but don't let that stuff get you down. Don't let that stuff put you in a place of comparison where you are robbing your own joy. People have every right to post whatever it is that they want about their life, whether it's them faking the front or whether it's them really just sharing, you know, their accolades and their wins in life, because they deserve to have that too. But don't take that to compare yourself of where you need to be. Take it as encouragement, take it as motivation, take it as ambition. Start a little competition in your head and focus it inwards and just go for it. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say today. Gracias for joining me in the Cousins Corner. Again, this is tu prima favorita Bobby here, and I just like to talk, and I will see you next time. Bye!